Wow, we would have never believed this. You can listen to us on our podcast. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple, we're on Google. Go out there and listen to us when you're driving to work, or maybe when you're just sitting at home, or you're on the treadmill at the gym. So we're excited about it. We're glad you're excited about it too.
My first pair of Nikes, I hated them. I absolutely hated them. I was blessed enough to have an early pair of Nikes,
Wow.
What were they?
the originals.
Hey, we're so glad you're joining us today. Steve and I, we're here on Muscles Matter, and they do matter. You can look at Steve. I mean, he's ready to just bust out of there. I mean, Steve's done a very amazing job with his physique. We're here with Johnell Ward, who is CEO, President, Janitor of Kicks for Kids, right?
Yes, I am.
To do it all.
I do it all.
I think that's the way
titles.
that's the way it is at Sportslanders West, right, Steve?
Yeah, the toilets don't get clean if I don't clean them. I'm sorry, made me scratch that. Pops does that.
Yeah. You got a good dad, you know
Yeah.
that. So head on over to the Sportslanders West District Boulevard, see John and see Steve, and they are going to help you with your nutritional needs. So John L., just take us down your journey, because you've got a ministry where muscles matter, but also muscles matter for you.
It did. When I was younger, growing up group homes, like sports, I did a little bit of boxing. Never had an amateur career or nothing. It helped with, I guess, the anger. It was supposed to.
It helped in some of your prior professions.
It sure helped me with a lot of those, right? It showed me how to throw a nice jab and a good straight, right, to follow right behind it. But it couldn't last long in it. But I understood, like, being fit, like, mattered at that time. Like, you had to have the endurance, because
You're living on the streets.
yeah, track stars sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not by choice, but had to be one.
There
right?
was a choice, but it was a bad choice.
It was. It was.
So tell us how you incorporate those things in your life now and in your ministry.
And now in the ministries, man, because we have a lot of the kids. That's their first go-to avenue, sports, right? They neglect academics, mentorship. But if you go out there with football, soccer ball, baseball, whatever, they gravitate.
They're all going to be professional athletes, right, Steve?
All of them.
My wife,
He'll get me started.
We can be here too.
my wife, who's a public school superintendent, but she's also been in the classroom, says that all the kids want to be, a first responder, or they want to be a
NFL.
professional athlete,
Yep.
or a influencer nowadays. So
Yes.
I'm just saying, but that is where kids go. And you
Yes.
work with a lot of kids who find identity in their sports, right?
Yeah, the sports, and it's crazy because we get to tell them, like, they're more than just the sport, like, that, especially because I have a lot of football players, outside of Tom Brady, there isn't 40-year-old football players, 45-year-old football players.
true.
There's a shelf life,
there
So
is.
it's like, what are we going to do, and working out, it shows them the discipline, right?
Yes.
Being consistent is the bigger thing that they can learn. Being consistent when they don't want to be, right? Like,
Yeah.
bodybuilding, like, you gotta be consistent. Like, man, I don't want to eat this. I don't want to,
Discipline is something that's important. I think that you're bringing it in as you're introducing students to academics, but you're using a hook with the shoes, right? In the sport.
Shoes, yes, man. We bait them in with a pair of retros.
Can I join?
Yes.
Oh man, we might got a couple pair laying around. But yeah, we introduced, because a lot of the kids we get to serve do not even have, like, new shoes or new clothes. But kids nowadays are pretty weird. Like, vintage is in, so the clothes could look at kind of a little aged and still be cool. But if your shoes don't look new, look popping, look like what everyone else is wearing, man, it really makes them feel less confident.
And most people make shoe contact before they make eye contact now.
I do that nonstop since I was little. I would look at the shoes. Even the girl, I probably shouldn't say this, but the girl that I was liking, I'm married 16 years, guys. Don't crucify me.
Great gal.
Great gal. But I used to look at the shoes, and if the shoes weren't right, I'm like, I ain't talking to her. I hate to be so
Yeah.
like that, but it still is that, but it's not so.
It does matter because we're all shoe guys.
Yeah.
I remember sitting on the floor and my mom telling me, I'm not buying you another pair. Fix those pair.
Yeah.
And I learned how to take care of my shoes.
Yes. Well, yeah, there again, I grew up in a area of Union Avenue. You know, I grew up in Johnell. But, you know, my dad would always tell us, he goes, you know, we may not have new stuff, but you can take care of the stuff that you do have. And I think that's a lesson for a lot of people, is that you don't have to have the best or the newest, but just take care of what you have.
Take care of what you have.
Yeah. So tell us, you know, as you're getting into the public school system,
Oh, man.
and you're teaching kids that may never have an impact or let some type of an athletics affect them. You're taking over PE.
PE.
Yeah, PE.
Yeah, from K through 8th grade.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever think?
No. And surprisingly, I like K through 2nd grade.
They're the best.
They're the best.
My wife will tell
They
you.
don't have opinions yet.
Well, and she says they still have a little bit of fear of adults, a fear
Slightly.
for respect.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know what you would want to call it. So she'll say that they're still there, where the kids it kind of falls off after a while.
I haven't ran into that. What I run into with the older ones is them being attracted to the opposite sex, and that being such a distraction. Biology kicks in, and it's like, oh, the little ones don't got it.
Yeah.
They're here for the fun.
So are you seeing an impact on the little ones with the PE courses?
Yeah,
that you're
they
doing?
coming in excited, smiles, running like, are we running today? Like, yeah, we got a couple relays set up for you.
Steve,
guys.
that's not you and I, right?
You know?
I gave up my track dreams.
Right.
So tell us what, you know, as Kicks for Kids is out there, and you're influencing kids with shoes, but you're also able to give them a taste of physical fitness.
Yes, because it's a big part of Kicks for Kids. Some of you guys know out there. So we also, outside of just the PE thing, we do football camps over the summer. This one is actually might be a little bit different. Instead of just a camp, it's an exposure camp. We might got some colleges coming to look at some of these high schoolers.
Good.
But the crazy thing is we got college kids coming back. So the impact is like these kids came through here, or they want to help us with this, so they're coming back, giving that firsthand knowledge, what's working out there. They playing at UCLA, Friends University, Cal Lutheran, Penn State, all these like great
These are kids
schools.
from your program.
I was
They
going to say,
have-
that's got to make you
have
feel good
and work
because they're
good.
feeding back in.
Yeah, and they're looking at these kids like, hey, we want to give back. We want to, and they wanting to help. And so they come out, and I said, don't take it easy on these boys, because they're exactly where you were at. Don't take it easy. You know, it's not easy to playing at that level, and don't talk about just playing like what it really takes, the mental behind it, right? Because it gets.
Because your voice drowns out after a while, but when they get somebody to come in that's doing it, they're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah,
I'm listening to that.
yeah.
yeah.
He-
I can talk.
Coach got him there?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that is a form that I think that's a form of respect too for you and what you're putting into these kids.
Yeah.
And you're showing them that discipline matters, but not only in physical fitness, but in their academics.
Academics, because they're student first, right?
Yes.
Student athlete. No college coach or university going to look at them if they have D's and F's.
Yeah.
No one's paying that money, you know.
especially not. I mean, you can send that money. You can let these kids know you don't got to make it to the pros anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You get paid now going to college. It's.
Can.
I remember
You
going to
just
college and
endorsements.
crying because I didn't eat. These guys get. You are a
Some
good
of
player.
them-
You get
yeah.
paid.
Yeah, there's some right now that has. There's a. I don't think we can say his name, but they Chevrolet is sponsoring them to pay brand new truck every year.
Oh no, you can say the names now because it's legal.
Oh yeah, it's Deion Sanders' son.
Yeah, it's legal now. They passed the
Right,
law. These kids get
guys are
paid.
getting,
Yeah.
You know,
There's no more brown paper bags. They
You
get
know.
a check.
for real. They really do. There's no more.
And you know, and I know we're not trying to get like controversial here, but I think there is a modicum of responsibility that people have to be okay with that. My daughter played college tennis, and I remember, that sometimes the scholarship doesn't cover all the
It
costs,
doesn't.
and that's not something that people understand a lot. So we're going to come back with that thought. We're going to take a quick break and just hear from one of the people that we enjoy doing this with.
We all know about creatine, right? Well, creatine was made in 1960. There's no reason to still be taking stuff from 1960 when you got awesome stuff like Pump 365. What makes Pump 365 so great is it's glycogen based. Glycogen is the stuff you want to put into your muscle to make it expand bigger, beautiful. There's nothing like a bigger, beautiful muscle when it's Pump 365. It's an NO product loaded with glycogen to give you a pump, and then it says 365, so stay pumped all day long.
Swing by 7420 District Boulevard or call 661-282-8840 and ask for Steve for all your sports supplement and nutrition needs.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got something out of it. So, Johnell, we left off where you've got kids that are coming back to the program.
Coming back, giving back, and we're sharing the dreams on what could be down the road in the next couple of years.
And you're doing that working with kindergartners through second grade, because that's the grade you really enjoy working with.
Yeah.
But when you're there, you're just molding these kids into something that is possible.
Yes.
Something that you didn't have in your life, but you're also passing it on. And I love the fact that you're doing the PE class.
Yeah.
Because as you're doing it, you're instilling something in them, Steve, that I think you and I love, and you're bringing it into people's lives in the future, that healthier living
Yes.
does mean a lot,
Oh,
and it does pay off.
Especially with these kids nowadays.
Yes.
These kids nowadays are very much couch potatoes.
And they're growing up on fast food. And Steve, you could sit here and give a dissertation
Yes.
on the effects that you see when people come in.
I'm a living example of what can go wrong. I know with diabetes, know. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. So,
But you're trying to get that under control.
trying to get it under control, trying to get off the shots. So it's a process, We talked a lot about this too, because I came to you when they said the doctor said my T count was low, right? My testosterone was low. I'm like, hey man, why? I'm so young.
Well, and I think Steve speaks into this a lot more than I do. I mean, I did things that were obvious in my career that would jack my testosterone level. You might not have done that, but there again, I think Steve and I think what you and I are like, hey, live the best you that you can live.
And it falls back to food. Like, I was having this discussion the other day that you bring up food. I was talking about what type of food is readily available in the neighborhoods.
Oh man, look, I'm just like you on mix, man.
Snow cones, jujube, it's all these 99-cent sugar snacks.
Yeah.
Sugar snack, sugar snack, sugar snack.
My lunch pail was filled with Chico sticks, zebra cakes, and cactus
So
cooler.
you say you run into diabetes, but it was introduced.
Oh man.
Where's there a Whole Food Market?
Not in
And
my
My point. That's my point.
and it's not reasonably priced.
Yeah,
It's not reasonable.
and that's my point. Is in the neighborhoods they make it to where there's food, and they don't give any structure on how to eat and how to better eat. So nobody understands eating. McDonald's. I mean, can I say McDonald's?
I guess.
You can buy 5 nuggets for $2, but I can't buy a pound of chicken for $2.
Yeah.
So how is there 5 nuggets? What am I really feeding these kids?
Yeah.
What sort of additive, what sort of things are in there? So like you said, you ran into these problems, but nobody told us different. And so now you're there to look at the kids and go, hey, look, you don't want to eat that when you get off. You want to eat this.
Yeah.
This is what's going to help you.
Actually, there now. So we have high school football boys around us, and they're in week 4. Yeah, they're in week 4, right? Each game, at least 10 boys go down, cramps, nonstop. So we know they're depleting themselves. We work them out in the morning. The other coaches work them out in the afternoon. They got weights during school, all this stuff, right? So they know they're getting depleted. They're getting told like water, electrolytes, Pedialyte. Especially where my son goes, they just give the kids this stuff, right? But yet they're still going out with cramps. We're like, where are you cheating? Where you're cheating, you're drinking something sugary. You're drinking. Even my own son, because he was like, he wanted to go down, but he looked up. He like, now I'm playing through this because he know I'll walk down here. Like, you know what I mean?
It's funny because I forget who I was talking to, but they were just saying that the high school coach, same thing. His players were going down left and right, and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" And they were all drinking Slurpees before the game.
Yeah.
They were drinking Slurpees the night before and before the game.
That's how you guys gonna lose this. That's what we told him.
We heard that on a Muscle Matters, didn't we?
Yeah, was that where it was?
With Matt White.
Yeah, okay. I knew
he played for Clovis.
Yes.
And he said that when the coach took over, he goes, and there will be no more Slurpees.
There will be no more Slurpees, sugary drinks. Because I'm like, we told the boys, this is how y'all gonna lose your season. Y'all have a chance to win the ring. Like, you guys are one of the top teams here. You're only gonna lose because you guys keep going out over a cramp, not an injury, a cramp.
Yeah. And that reverts back to Steve knowledge, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and there again, if I'm going to brag on Steve again, if you want nutritional knowledge, even down to the micro level, you got to see Steve over at Sportslanders West. Yeah. If you're thinking about having and you know foster kids or you have foster kids, get a hold of Johnell, right?
Yeah, get a hold of me. We set up something, mentorship. We get them active in some type of sports.
Because it does matter. Because Steve, I mean, when boys, let's talk about boys. Mm-hmm. Boys develop self-confidence at young ages, and we do that through what we do. Men to this day, I tell people all the time, men are what we do. So when you're young and in school, what you can do is you can compete in sports. You can perform. You can do something. You don't even have to do sports, but you can play an instrument.
It's family.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's your brother. That's your family right there.
And so you need
and
that.
You see it because there's two different families in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. There's the bad family and there's the good family. Mm-hmm. And the sports provide the good family.
Yeah.
What you're providing is a good family.
Yeah.
For people who don't have family.
Well, yeah, or the family will lead them into the wrong direction. Yeah. You're right. And, you're right, man, because I was that kid too, like I said. And I played sports. I was playing football. I wasn't a lineman then. I was a lot more slimmer. You know what I mean? I turned into a coach, and I embraced the coach's body.
Steve has a dad body thing. You need to go to Sportslanders West, see the dad bod, right?
we got a buster.
You know? But at that young age, I remember how I felt being around the team. And I want this all the time. And then have to go home and be like, or to the group home, and like, I'm about to run away. And I know where I'm going. I'm going back to that other team that you're talking about, the other family that you didn't talk about. Even though it's welcoming, it's not going to lead you down the right way,
And you're doing the right thing by you're showing them, look, man, this is going to lead to something positive.
Because we keep saying something here is knowledge.
Yes.
And that's the biggest muscle, one of the most important muscles, that brain. So I was scared to tell people I read a lot when I was little, right? Because none of my homeboys read.
Well, a lot of people don't know that about you, Johnell, and you do. You're a prolific reader.
Yes, I read. Right? Like, I like to be knowledgeable. Now it helps what we're doing. It's like I'm seeing what even God did with the reading. Like, oh, dang. Like, I know that, man, it's crazy because people don't think that, right? You notice that. They're like, well, how you know that, right? You're like, that's crazy. But teaching these kids, like, hey,
reading's a great escape.
It is.
I read comic books because it was my escape.
Yeah.
You still read comic books, Steve?
I can't read anymore. I got old eyeballs.
I always like to tell Steve, if you follow Steve on his Instagram or stuff, he's a kick to follow because he loves the Comic Con. He's got the body for the Hulk, but he likes other characters. I saw him in an Aquaman outfit one time.
I did not expect to have that to go over. That was it was a joke with my girl because she likes Jason Momoa. I said I'm gonna be Aquaman today then. Because he was Aquaman. So I said, babe, look, you get your fantasy, you get Aquaman.
But I'm just saying, as I think we all have this jock on the outside, nerd on the inside. You reading, me IT, you at the Comic Con. It's okay because it's something that I think everybody can embrace. But then Steve and I and you are advocate that physical knowledge. And I'm saying you don't have to lift weights. I mean, you could roll with judo. You could be like,
Football, there's techniques.
yeah,
There's certain things so you don't get injured.
yeah,
You know,
and so you just want people to go out and try something that does. And the one thing that I find the most now is that it's helping me, I believe, live longer. It just is. I mean, I want to be there to serve God.
Yes.
I want to be there around my wife, my kids. I want to be a
Grandkids.
I want to be a grandfather one day. And so it's one of those things that if you learn, get knowledge, there again, go to somebody who understands it. Steve at Sports Letters West, you at Kicks for Kids. They are out there. My wife brags on you all the time. She said the other day, she goes, the kids are like, they found out that you were at school. My wife's a superintendent, and Johnell's program is involved with her school. And she says the kids are like, oh, can he come out earlier in the day? She goes, no. He does afternoon sports program. But the kids, some that can't stay, want to because they know that you're there, and it's not to get a pair of shoes.
no.
But they want to be around you and your team. And I think what a blessing
That's
for
awesome.
kids to want to be around that.
We'll be right back after this quick break from our sponsors.
We're going to talk a little bit about amino acids. Amino acids, this one right here is all day UMA. It's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of amino acids. It's got B6, B12, glutamine, coconut water. It has everything as well as essential amino acids. If you don't know what essential amino acids are the thing that make the branched chain amino acids work. So if you do not have essential amino acids in your branched chain amino acids and you're trying to figure out why your amino acids suck, that's probably a good reason why. So come by and get all day UMA because you want to do it all day when you're in the gym.
Swing by 7420 District Boulevard or call 661-282-8840 and ask for Steve for all your sports supplement and nutrition needs.
Hey, I hope you guys got a lot out of that. So, Johnell, what is something that you would want people to know that you've learned about, becoming a better coach, a better mentor, better father, better husband?
Oh man, work out the heart. Not hide your vulnerability. Like mental health is really something we need to talk about a lot more. What helps with that is like finding some group of men that if you're a guy, find a group of men that you can just be open with, and not just to be open with, but take the criticism. Because I got, like you said, I don't know if we were on air or off air, but everybody want to be the top dog athlete, or well, you telling me this, I'm already this. Yeah, at this level, right? We tell the high school boys, because we got a lot of them that are the top dogs on their teams. Everyone's a top dog at the college level. They were all top dogs in high school.
Yes.
That's why they're here. That's why they're here.
There's a ladder they climb.
That's right.
And
so it's like continuing learning.
yes,
Right.
and there
And it
again,
becomes more mental.
Yes.
It becomes more
That's
mental.
what's going to separate.
my daughter went and played D1 tennis, and I remember the first time she called me after her first practice. She goes, "Dad, I'm not sure what I'm doing." I go, "Well, yeah, you are. You're there with all the kids that are at that level now." And she even told me one time, she goes, "Dad, I really am not sure I can see the ball." And I go, "Well, you will, because you just got to stay at it, and you got to keep upping your game." And it's funny how then, she adapted.
Mm-hmm.
But the key is I don't try to tell people that it's easy,
No,
but it's worth it.
it is worth it.
It's always worth it to keep challenging yourself. I mean, there again, Steve, I saw you on the bench press. I think it was you on the video the other day, bench pressing, and you're hefting some heavy weights. And
That was a throwback video.
well, I know, but I'm just saying, and we always talk about it because I do believe that is who you are, even where you're at now. You're going to challenge yourself. You're going to up it. When I picked up the push-up challenge, which my cardiologist checked me on it the other day. He said, "Hey, I heard you did this push-up challenge." I go, "Yeah, in June." And he goes, "You still doing push-ups?" I go, "Not like that." Because he was worried, because, with my valve, that's not an exercise you want to do. And I go, "So do I stop doing it?" And he goes, "No." And I go, then why would you even get on to me about doing it? Because I did it, but I didn't know I would do it until I did it. I mean, so there's a part of this whole thing that I think that as you challenge yourself, my wife challenged herself to run 20, it was a marathon, and she ran 28 miles instead of 26. So I believe you have to put yourself out there.
Yes.
You got to get I mean, sometimes I'll do it with a challenge with myself. Somebody the other day goes, why don't you do pull-ups? I go, I'm not don't put that evil on me.
I like my shoulders exactly where they're located.
It's just one of those things that I'm like, I've got enough on my plate, just keeping my, my workout that I do now is 64.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, keep challenging yourself, keep growing, keep
growing.
learning.
Keep growing. Keep learning.
Now, I'm curious on the kicks. You guys keep talking about the kicks.
Yes.
What do people need to know to be a part of that program?
Right now, to be known, to get involved with the program, if you want to become a mentor, they can contact us through social media.
Now, what if I just want to give a pair of shoes?
You contact me through the social media, or I'll give you my number.
And that's what, because I know there's I got a lot of friends that are sneakerheads.
Oh.
I'm huge in that sneaker community. So there's a lot of guys that just roll down shoes. So
you talking my language.
Love language.
Man, everyone has their love language. Mine is sneakers.
So I'd
Hey,
love to be able to share your ministry back into the groups.
Yes.
So that they can get out into the
Yeah.
bigger community.
I'm in a couple of those groups, especially like out there on Mel, all the resellers of Melrose out there. So they give me they hook me up a little bit, knowing that it's for these kids and stuff. But for them trying to draw them in a little bit deeper, I would love that.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, and I think that's networking, and I think that's what we're trying to do.
Yes.
Yes.
Is connecting a group of people who have a desire. And I think if they're sneakers heads, they've got a desire to have some type of fitness in their life too.
To a degree, some of these guys just
Love to wear
yeah, it is fashion.
It's so funny because I remember my first pair of shoes, and I remember that the advertisers lied to me, and they were Red Balls. They were called Keds Red Ball. And the advertisement was make you run faster, jump higher. I so desperately wanted those shoes because I was going to show everybody I could run faster and jump higher. I remember getting those shoes, putting them on. I didn't run faster, and I did not jump higher. I was so disappointed. I just thought, I kept watching and go, if I get those, I could do that.
I have one similar, the Shaq's, the first ones, when he was a Reebok.
The Reebok pumps. Yes.
I was like, I'm gonna pump these things up, I'm gonna dunk. No, I still touched the net.
You didn't have you didn't have the Duncan body.
No.
My first pair of Nikes, I hated them. I absolutely hated them. I was blessed enough to have an early pair of Nikes.
Wow.
What were they?
The originals.
The waffles?
Yes, the leather waffles. I was a kid.
You know how much those are?
The funny thing is, I tried to destroy them because I hated them. Now, my mom brings that up. She's all, remember when I bought you those Nikes? I was all,
I have a pair of waffles, but it's the original owner's name is on it, the Phil Knight.
Yeah.
But it's a newer release. Oh, if I had those.
No, try. I said same thing. But I tried to kill those shoes.
Oh my God. I know. Back then they weren't really popular. They looked
it was Adidas and it was Converse.
Yeah.
I wanted them. I wanted some Magic Johnson. I grew up in L.A.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Magic had a Converse. I wanted no Magic shoes.
Yeah.
Nobody wants Nike.
Yeah. I love it.
It's funny. Have you watched that show where they talk about the shoes? Nike offered Magic the Jordan contract.
Yes.
Magic would be worth, what was it, $562 billion just from Nike.
Wow.
If you would have taken it.
Hey, opportunities, right? There again. I'm proud of you, Johnell. Steve, you do an amazing job. So there again, glad you joined in with Muscles Matters because they do matter. And there's things around it that you don't have to have muscles to be part of it. You can actually get involved in helping other people get physically fit and attain some of their dreams and some of their goals.
Yes.
Take care, guys.
See you guys.